Well, federal parliament's back and the Prime Minister says he has a mandate for 18 new laws, but the devil, well, it's in the detail. Few actually deal with the fundamentals at the heart of the hurt many Australians are enduring right now. And the new climate change laws, well, they're going to enshrine higher living costs. They'll reduce our prospects to make things here, and they certainly won't create any more nation-building jobs. Reducing emissions seemed to not matter when it comes to our federal parliamentary elites. They didn't walk to Canberra. They didn't even carpool once they arrived there. And the symbolism of the smoking ceremony, well, it didn't offer a statement on their carbon footprint. You see, this woke, this WEF-inspired lefty social engineering virtue signalling short-term thinking, well, none of it's a substitute for the real hard work which delivers long-term economic growth. And currently Australia's biggest growth industry remains those who want to be offended on behalf of others. And have you ever wondered what these radical and single-issue woke types would do if they actually ran out of things to change? Maybe they'd just turn on each other like rats in a barrel and eat each other. Worthwhile change, well, it's a constant, but we now change for change's sake. And looking back decades ago, even the change of teaching English without learning Latin roots, well, it's led to an erosion of knowledge of the meaning of words. And it's part of why we suffer this woke, crazy ignorance of who we are and where we came from. In more recent years, the decline of the value of mental arithmetic. Students use calculators for simple equations. It means another part of their brain is no longer exercised. Students these days aren't marked down for spelling errors. Writing phonetically apparently is acceptable. Our basic history has been re-examined, purged from historic lessons. Not understanding history means we're doomed to repeat it. And keeping so many ignorant of the building blocks of knowledge and learning means that too many now are easily distracted, amused by passing fads, fascinated by follies, easily manipulated. For decades, Hollywood, well, it's fed us its dystopian and dysfunctional narratives on catastrophic end-of-the-world movies. Funny is no longer with wit, and it's often just crude and foul, and sadly a lot of younger generations think this is normal. Children are being told what to think rather than being encouraged how to think. They're being preconditioned to change everything and resent everyone who came before them because, the boomers, well, they're bad. So let's take their houses. Well, James Cook, well, he was a barbarian, not one of the greatest ever explorers in human history. It's sad. Our children deserve much better. Australia is right now on track to lose a lot of the smarts we need to push us forward into the next half century of our national story. Our children, well, they're on track to have a worse standard of living than the one their grandparents' generation passed on to their parents. This is sobering. Australians have enjoyed enormous economic growth over the past 234 years since Arthur Phillip arrived. Our nation right now needs vision, but so many pollies, well, they have their blinkers on, preferring to manage our decline, short-term salve on these symptoms and the consequences rather than curing the problem. But you see, the world has worked this out. And while big business calls for more migrants to solve workforce shortages, the reality is there's no compelling reason for trade and professional skilled from overseas to actually come here. You see, we make nothing. Our electricity is now amongst the world's most expensive and going up. Our standard of living is in serious decline. It's going down. Our cost of housing is high, and housing stock, well, it's in serious short supply because of over-regulation of land management. We have no nation-building projects planned. We need water to grow our vital and underproductive farming sector. With more water, those farmers can grow more. Politics, well, it's preoccupied with the woke and the weakening of our nation and our national confidence. And we aren't allowed to debate alternative views. They're condemned by so many of the lazy media elite types. Look, we're not the only Western nation facing such problems, but Australia is in trouble. And right now there's no plan to fix it.